I really am not a fan of country music by any definition. And like nowadays, a lot of like modern country artists is, country on the whole has like become the big thing in regards to music nowadays. It's like like how like rap and emo basically, well, at least like modern pop punk, like basically like dominated like the early and late 2000s and whatnot. And now like country has like completely overshadowed like other types of music nowadays, almost to the point where like most people, don't even listen to other stuff anymore. Like I'm talking about like mostly like modern stuff like you would hear on like stations like US 99 and like shit that would be the lineup at like Country Thunder or whatnot. I'm not, I'm not trying to diss it. I mean, but I'm just saying that, it just isn't me. Like, you know, I really don't understand like the hype of it all. Like because like most of the time, modern country, like mostly pop country shit, you know, the lyrics are like basically all the same. Like, you know, getting drunk, cheating, Dixieland Delight, all that shit. It's basically the same lyrics. Every song that's played on that on the radio, on that country station, it's basically the same stuff, same theme, same story, same lyrics. It's just, it's repetitive. And like the problem with people who like that kind of stuff is that they're like so, critical of other types of music, especially like new wave and like 90s alternative rock. You know, they think, some of them think that like such bands like Joy Division and New Order is like pussy crap nowadays. And to me, they really aren't. They're so, see, I prefer, like, I'm not an elitist. I mean, I kind of am an elitist, but I'm not like a total snob when it comes to it. I just, point out certain indiscretions to most, music genres. Like, it just, see, I'm mostly a new wave and alternative rock fan than I am, with country. But I do like, the old school country artists and groups like, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Dwight Yoakam, uh, fucking Towns Van Zandt, and of course, groups like the Charlie Daniels Band, Alabama, the Marshall Tucker Band. Although, Marshall Tucker would have to, go along the lines of like Skinner and other stuff like that. Bob Seger. And, but there's like a ton of like other Southern groups that I like. But there is like a subgenre called alternative country, which basically is like, they're not exactly country. They're like mostly alternative groups that, have like a bit of a southern feel to them. Like for example, there's this band called the Drive By Truckers that I totally dig, and they sing stuff about like Alabama. They talk about bands like Skinner and stuff like that. In regards to their lyrics, and like and there's some modern alternative country group singers like Jason Isbell. He's very seldom mentioned. You know, and just like there's like a ton of like other southern rock alternative type groups that I really dig, but I I'm not gonna get into too much detail because I would just like go completely off kilter. Like I would just go overboard. You know. Yep. To me, honestly, like that kind of stuff here, the modern country stuff, mostly appeals to guys who I'm not bashing that employment, but they mostly appeal to guys who work construction, and that's like a job I would not take because I may have the look for a construction worker of of one, but I don't have the heart for it. It's just too much brutality, that kind of employment. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling today. But one band that one alternative country group that I think is severely underrated is this band. This is a band called Golden Smog. I actually heard of this band many years ago before I actually found this particular album at Half Price Books in Skokie, like during like in May 2017. It almost literally like the year I actually started going to HPB and whatnot. So this band actually appeared on the soundtrack album to CLERKS. They covered Shooting Star by Bad Company for that soundtrack album. And this is actually a super group. It consists of like musicians from like bands like Wilco, Soul Asylum, the Jayhawks, the Replacements, Big Star, and I think some other stuff like they were from Minneapolis, and like they first started playing clubs where mostly like punk rock and hardcore music were mostly dominant during that year, and they were kind of like stepping out of the boundaries because they had they're like a southern type group, but and like that I guess just didn't really fit into that kind of punk rock scene, which I guess to each his own, right? But anyway, so this band has long since disbanded. I as of right now, I don't know if they're still together or not, or if they are together, but they just haven't played too many shows. Um, they actually have like three other albums besides this one. Although this is like the only album that I've found so far in the clearance section. This album is called Weird Tales. It's from Ryko Disc Records, I guess. I've never actually heard of that label, but I've I really dig this group. I really dig their they have like a bit of a drive-by truckers sound to it, Yeah, and they're kind of similar to a band that I did a video on a few years ago, Ass Ponies. I am still perplexed by that title, but it's still pretty funny. But a lot of the shit on this album is pretty cool. I do like you know, I can't say that that this one has like any particular single, but I'm sure just because like a certain album from a certain band doesn't have like any singles doesn't mean they're not worth listening to. Like they don't have any music videos. Like Lush does not. I have an album by Lush, but none of their songs I don't think have any like videos. But I don't know. So anyway, a few favorites of mine on this album is I Can't Keep From Talking, which is track number 8, and Making Waves. Please Tell My Brother. A lot of this shit that it's it's a pretty good album. The entire album is great. All the songs on this is you know I really don't have a particular favorite on this album. You know, so like I said, like the very first time I heard about this band was when I you know saw the movie Clerks, and they were on the soundtrack album. But you know me, for those who have watched my videos, you would know that I would get into certain bands because of certain movies. So, and this just so happened to be another example. And so if you are into like any band, any alternative rock group that goes by, that has like a little bit of a southern sound to them, you know, like if you're into like alternative country groups, like, you know, the few that I mentioned, I would give this band a go. Like I said, they've released like three other albums, but so far this is like the only album that I own so far. But I will be on the lookout for the rest of them. So, if you can find this anywhere, like at a flea market or HPB or Goodwill or any other like local record shop that you can find in like a like the CD rack, I would certainly, you know, check them out. You know, I wouldn't say that they're obscure because like they had, like I said, they had made more than just one album, but they are severely underrated. So definitely check this one out and see how you like it. Golden Smog, their album Weird Tales from Ryko Disc Records, released in 1998. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.